Fair warning, this interview does contain spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home. You have been warned.
Can I just say before we get started, Are we recording now? We're on?
Yeah, we're on.
You are my favourite person to interview with. You do the best interviews. We're all talking about it on the way here.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I just had to say that. I was excited to tell you.
That's really... That's very nice, Tom. You're one of my... No, you are my favourite. Come on, let's be honest. If I could hug you, I would.
I know, but we got to be safe. Let me put my headphones on so I can hear how crisp our voices sound.
Love it.
Hello.
Both you turn your keys clockwise at the same time.
Thanks a lot. You almost got me killed.
Clockwise, Sully!
Well, it was 50-50, so I made a guess.
Clearly.
Now, obviously, Tom, after that, we are here to talk about Uncharted. There's a sign behind it to prove it.
Yeah.
But before we begin properly, I just want to say something, because there's an elephant in the room.
What's happening?
They're starting to come through, and I can't stop them.
I don't think I can trust you anymore.
Okay.
Because you're a brazen, big fat liar.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
Obviously, one day, sharing the screen with them would be a delight. But, you know, no one believes me, but unfortunately, it's not in this movie.
You've lied not only to my face, but straight down the camera.
But I will say, that is essentially what I am paid to do. I didn't find the treasure.
What?
It's all make-believe, and I lie for a living. And I'm so sorry that you have fallen into my lying wake.
I'm sorry, kid.
Yeah, me too.
I'll try to forgive you.
Thank you.
In order to, reaffirm our friendship,
Sure.
Can you kind of prove something to me? Could you tell me what the name of the Spider-Man WhatsApp group is? Because my bet was web chat.
That's so much better than what it is. I think it's just called the Spidey Bros. I don't even think it has a name. Spider-Man. No.
If you don't have the kind of Spider-Man meme of them pointing at each other as the picture, you are missing out.
It's just T McG and Andrew.
All right. For me, change it to web chat.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it now.
Anyway.
Anyway.
As discussed previously...
Let's talk about our treasure hunt movie.
I'd love to. You have been Spider-Man and Billy Elliot and many others. We've discussed that at length. But now you're PlayStation's iconic hero, one Nathan Drake.
Yes.
How the heck did that happen?
It's actually quite an interesting story.
Leaves are falling all around. Everything in here. Why the map?
This is the path that Ferdinand Magellan took to sail around the world.
You know your history.
I was shooting Spider-Man Homecoming. Sony were kind enough to gift me a PlayStation during the shooting of that movie, and my best friend and I, Harrison, we were playing Uncharted 4 while waiting for lighting setups or stunt setups and stuff.
Tough.
And yeah, tough life. And I'd never played the games before, and while playing that game, it's so cinematic and has such a wonderful story
For those who prove worthy, paradise awaits.
that I couldn't help but think, wow, this would make an incredible movie.
Took a long time for him to get out of this game.
He's meant for this life.
But that's as far as my kind of intrigue went. I actually went to Tom Rothman and pitched him an idea for an origin story for James Bond, which was essentially the idea that you would meet this kid in the SAS, he exceeds in every category, does really well, goes on this mission, and at the end of the mission is assigned the status of 007, which is in turn James Bond. But obviously, from a marketing point of view, you can't make a James Bond film and then reveal at the end of the film that he's James Bond. It doesn't make sense. It's just, no one's ever going to do that. But I think from that idea, Tom Rothman kind of, the genius producer that he is, came up with the idea that we could do an origin story to Nathan Drake, a film that they had previously been trying to make for 10, 15 years. Mark Wahlberg was attached to it at one point, David O. Russell was going to direct it, Robert De Niro was going to play Sully, and he had this idea that maybe we could tell an origin story. Maybe that's why we've been kind of hitting this wall every time we've put this film into development.
Your brother believed that there was a final piece.
Well, you know what my brother said?
You have no idea who you're partnered with.
And I guess that was the key, to kind of give the audiences something they haven't seen yet, this fresh take on Nathan Drake, which thankfully for me, was me.
Was you.
Right.
After an incredible amount in the gym.
Yeah, I'd trained my arse off for that film. It was mental.
I'm just, honestly, respect.
Thank you.
I saw a couple of months ago this video that went viral about you manifesting your own life.
Sure.
Have you seen it? This is where you say, you know what, I'd love to play Spider-Man in 10 years.
Yeah.
Maybe Spider-Man in like 10 years' time.
And then you say, I really like Zendaya.
Who was your first ever celebrity crush?
Zendaya.
And then you say, you know what? My favourite game ever has to be Uncharted.
Right.
My favourite video game is this little game called Uncharted. That's my favourite game.
So how does that feel to have been... You're literally living the dream.
I am living the dream. I actually genuinely think I am the luckiest person alive. I genuinely think that. You know, I've got a great group of friends, I have a wonderful family, I have a career that I'm incredibly proud of, and I get to do what I love for a living every day.
And now you're hanging out with Mark Wahlberg with a dodgy tash.
Yeah.
Hey, put him down, boys.
What more could you want?
What is that thing on your face?
Yeah, puberty's right around the corner, kid. You can grow your own.
He actually looks good in the tash, you know. I wouldn't tell him that.
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I'd bring it. I know he's tired from his routine. He's got to get up at midnight to do everything. I mean, have you seen anything of that?
Man works hard. It's interesting. He had a gym built while we were making the film in Berlin so that he could train to the capacity in which he trains, which I can say from someone who has seen him, it's legit. He's not the kind of person that's like, I get up at 4 a.m. and gets up at 10 a.m. But I trained in the evenings after work, and he trained in the mornings, just because his regime is too intense.
Too intense.
And also, we have different regimes. Like, I was trying to put on size because he's so big, and I came to the set and I was quite skinny. So I was like, I need to not look like just one of your biceps. I need to put some weight on. So we had a different regime. So it worked out really well.
And it is part of the Nathan Drake thing. He's one of those casually attractive, this isn't me sucking up, built guys. He's got witty one-liners.
A little young for a bartender, aren't you?
A little old for prom, aren't you?
What would you say are the things about the character that millions of people love so much?
I think it's his sense of adventure.
There are places out there you can't find on any map.
His constant need to find the unknown.
They're not gone. They're just lost.
This film is about looking for Magellan's lost treasure, which theoretically is a real thing. Like, you could potentially go out there one day and find $5 billion worth of treasure.
It's the biggest treasure that's never been found. 5 billion, easy. But it's just a story. I beg to differ.
Mark and I are secretly hoping that someone will find it, and because we made that film, we will be entitled to a certain percentage as kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think we should be.
I mean, not a finder's fee, but sort of a...
Just a little thanks for the idea kind of thing.
A little something.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's his sense of adventure, and he has the ability to do what so many can't do, which is drop everything and travel the world. Yeah. You know, so many of us you've got to work. You got to go to work, you got to clock in, you clock out, you go home, you get up, you do the same thing. Nathan Drake just seems to have unlimited funds and can just go wherever he wants, whenever he wants, and swim through caves.
Yeah, of course, he loves it. I mean, he just genuinely loves it. That and making bad jokes, well, that sort of thing.
All right, ready? Well.
It's cute.
What?
Because it's a well.
I will say one thing about this movie. There aren't enough chest-high walls.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And there was no scene where you accidentally blow yourself up with a grenade.
Sure.
No.
Which was a big part of my experience.
Yes.
Playing the game. But anyway, look, a note for the sequel. And if we could have Jason Statham as Charlie Cutter.
Okay.
Typical bloody Yank. All talk.
And Helen Mirren.
Hello, Victor.
Kate?
Still wallowing in the gutter with your protege, I see.
Just a couple of pitches.
I can do my best.
Thanks, man. And I really appreciate how much climbing you do in this movie.
Yep. That was a big thing for us.
You do this Jackie Chan thing. Tell me it was on purpose, but it's like Police Story. Where you jump onto this light fitting.
Oh, this is gonna suck!
Oh, yeah.
And then slide down.
Yeah.
Oh, that was something.
Was that in any way you? Because I was worried.
Okay, so the jumping off of the banister onto the lampshade is me.
Right.
The swinging back and forth is me, apart from one shot.
Okay.
And then the banging into the table and doing the incredible side somersault, full twisting thing to the back of your head is Greg.
Yeah. I have a guy for that.
That is not me, yeah.
There's also a great bit where you start fighting people as a cocktail mixologist.
Yes.
Have you got any terms for using some sort of Negroni mixer to smack it in someone's face?
That was a lot of fun to design that fight scene. I had been to a cocktail making school before we started shooting in preparation for the film. I had also sort of done a few under the radar shifts at the Chiltern Firehouse. I would sort of go there and take a white blazer and go behind the bar and
moustache.
Make people cocktails. Whether they were actually very nice or not, I don't know. But as far as the fight scene goes, it was really fun. It was very frustrating because, you know, a fight scene is difficult enough as it is, but then throw in the element of juggling glass bottles, it makes everything that much more complicated. But it's a sequence I'm very proud of, and I haven't seen a fight scene quite like it since the sort of Jackie Chan era of fight scenes, you know, like him using his surroundings and almost doing far too much, but far too much feels like just the right amount, you know? So it was a lot of fun developing that sequence.
That's part of the Nathan Drake thing. He's making it up as he goes along. He's just kind of winging it, skin of his teeth sort of thing. I love the idea that you are recreating moments from the game, because we see the cargo plane and we see the crates. But you've also got Nolan North in this movie. He's himself tweeted about it. Did you take a ton of selfies?
We actually did. It was interesting. We were shooting in Barcelona. No, actually, we were in Benidorm.
Nice.
And what was so funny was all of these Americans who are obviously producers on the show, directors, all that sort of stuff, were like, isn't Benidorm just amazing? We were like,
it's got a bit of a...
Benidorm's okay.
You want Magaluf, that's what you really want.
Exactly. But no, so it was lovely. And, you know, for me, taking on this character, it was very daunting. There's a lot of love out there for Nathan Drake. But from day one, I had Nolan's support. Neil Druckmann was very supportive. Everyone from Naughty Dog, from Sony to Tom Rossman to my director and producers, everyone was really supportive. So I felt good about taking on this character.
Absolutely. And also the theme comes up, like the original game theme.
Yeah.
And my little nerdy heart, I was like, oh.
I'm so happy.
Don't cry.
That's so good. That's excellent to hear. Because we were nervous about that. You know, we want to service the fans in every way we can, but we can't just do a direct copy of the games, because then you would just go and play the games.
Yeah, well, we would, and probably will. Look, I've got loads of other things. I just want to talk about Timothée Chalamet very briefly, because when I spoke to him a while ago, he said that he gets mistaken for you.
Really?
Oh, you're the Spider-Man, you're the Tom Holland guy. I'm like, no, it's not me.
Who do you get mistaken for?
I don't really get mistaken for anyone.
All you had to do is say Timothée Chalamet.
He's too handsome.
Come on!
He's double handsome. The only reason he's getting mistaken for me is because he's had a rough night and he's woken up the next morning and he's a bit puffy-faced with his hair all over the place. They go, God, that must be Tom Holland.
Poor guy.
He's too handsome.
I don't know about that. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, he is handsome, but you're on a par. It's fine.
Thank you, mate.
I'm actually speaking to Andrew Garfield, He, tomorrow.
Yes.
What tips do you have for me to keep him on his toes?
Andrew Garfield. He's honestly one of the nicest people I've ever worked with. I was so nervous about working with those two boys, but they could not have been more gracious and welcoming and just kind about the whole thing. You know, it's an interesting dynamic. We all have a certain sense of ownership over Spider-Man. And, you know, one of the worries would be that someone wants to overpower the other in certain ways, but we all were so happy to share the responsibility of telling the story. I know that's not what you asked me.
No, I like it.
But it was amazing. But Andrew's a lovely guy. He's very funny. I didn't think he would be so funny.
Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, he's double handsome and then he's double funny.
Yeah, he's a bit of a Timothée Chalamet, that one.
Yeah, it's
All
annoying.
right, one last thing. Do you have the Sig Parvis Magna ring?
I do, yeah.
Have you got it?
No. It's actually not as... We had to get a rubber one made because during all the fight scenes, it kept... Because when I fight,
poor Tom.
I do this, and it kept whacking me in the teeth. So I had to say to the props master, can you make me a rubber one?
God, he's a real hero. He's
real tough guy,
proper Bruce Willis.
Honestly
Arnie.
though, mate, like, it really hurt. Like, stop taking the mick. Like, it would, like... I'd turn around and punch someone, and it would bounce up and just crack me straight in the teeth. I'm lucky I've got teeth.
Tom, it's been emotional. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleasure.
A real pleasure.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to keep up to date. You can listen to my Radio 1 movies and TV podcast, Screen Time, on BBC Sounds. And you can find these interviews in full on BBC iPlayer by searching Movies with Ali Plumb.